Well, good Friday morning to y'all. I'm having a dilemma this morning. Don't Billie Jean always have a dilemma? Well, I was going through these pre-made pie crust. This one is like a great value. It's a food club. And the smell, it smells so, it just smells fake, I guess you'd say. It's got kind of a sourdough smell. I thought, I'm not using that. I'm just not going to use that. So, we're not using that. It's fixing to go in the garbage because I don't like the smell of it. So then I pulled out a Pillsbury pie crust with the tube crust, and it's a little better, but it's still got a wang to it. And it looks, why I'm doing all this is because I used a ready-made pie crust one day a few months ago, and it was like if I was eating plastic. Of course, I was in a hurry, so I didn't take it down which one it was. So now this is the Pillsbury pie crust here. I see there's a wang to it. All these pie crusts, I don't know why they smell like a sourdough. It's not the first time. It's not because they're from the store fresh, but it doesn't. I don't know the reasoning behind this. So I thought, well, I could get one of my tart pans, or I can get a pie pan or one of the tart pans, which I may try and do just to see. So I won't waste this shell, but I really don't want it for my quiche. Today is another quiche. I know y'all get tired of my quiches, but you don't have to watch. It's something I do every morning. So, y'all remember as children, my grandmother, I would remember her. She would make the pie crust, and then she would take the remnants and make strips. And us kids enjoyed eating that. Those remnants of that pie crust was the best thing in the world at that time of my life. Sometimes we wish we could go back, don't we? I do. But I live on memories, y'all. That's what keeps me going, is memories. We all have them. And I'm happy that I've got good ones. You know, I know there's a lot of people that doesn't have good memories of a childhood. But I do. I really do. Now see, I think this will be fine. I don't know if I'll blind bake this, which it means without my pie weights in it. I think it'll be fine because it's in a torte pan. And of course this has a lift up bottom, so. But I hated to waste this crust. I just took a beating to. And this other one, I hate to waste it also, but I don't know what else to do because I don't want the product to be bitter or something. So I'm just going to bake this and use it later on for something. Could be a fruit tart, but at least we won't waste the crust. So that's that. And This one will just go to the wayside. This one has one more in it. So we're going to see how this one bakes up. That's the main thing. I want to see how this bakes up and what it tastes like, or it might all go in the garbage. So let's put this back into our refrigerator. And this one will go into the garbage. So now I want to see I'm going to get 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Let me see. I've about ran out of flour. So we're going to use this cake flour. That's all I can do right now. I still haven't gone to the store. I've been to the store 3 times and I forgot what flour I was doing. So let me get my food processor. Mine has this one I told y'all I have 2 or 3. This one I had in there and I thought I'm going to start using that one. No sense in not. If I don't use it, who will? You know. So let's put our flour and our salt. So we'll get 1.5 cups of flour. We'll put them in here. Let me get this over the sink so I don't spill it all over the place. So there's one. Now we'll do a half. Okay. There's a half. Let's do a half. So there's 1.5. And I need to get 1 large egg. So let me get this out of the way. So let's just get us an egg. This will bind the dough. So that'll be fine. We'll just bind the dough. Get a bowl. So we'll get 1 large egg. Okay. And then I'm going to put 2.5 tablespoons. 2.5 tablespoons. Let me get some cold water out of my... Get some cold water out of my refrigerator door filter. Okay. So there's 1. There's 2. Half. 2.5 tablespoons of ice water, cold water. And then we get a whisk. I wonder where my baby whisk is. I like my little baby whisk. Or I hate using that big whisk. Here, I'll just use this one. I like this little frother. So let's just kind of froth that together. Your egg and your cold water. See how I froth that together? Okay. Get that off there. Now we'll set that back. Set that aside. And then we'll, let's give us a little bit of salt. About a half teaspoon. About a half teaspoon of salt. Put it in there. Now I'm going to get my about 10 tablespoons. Let me go in here. and look at what I have got in the fridge. I'm going to use my butter. Like I say, I've got, so that'd be a stick plus 2. So let me get this mess cleaned up. Billy Jean, his messes, they seem to get bigger and bigger sometimes. So we're just going to put our unsalted butter on our unsalted butter. Take that out. And make sure you get the wrapper off, because before I've left it, I thought, what have I done to deserve? I'm going to cut 2 more tablespoons off of this one. Then that'll get us our 10 tablespoons of butter. I hope everybody's doing good today. At least it's not raining, and it's not too extremely cold whatsoever. Let me get this back in the box. Okay, let me get that. Here's my rag again. Get that rag. Let's put a little chop on here for just a second. And I'm just gonna chop that, pulse it. Let's see, pulse that. Billy Jean, how do you pulse it? Well, I'm trying. Well, I better don't have the lid on. If you don't have that on there, it won't work. It'll say, no, not right now. Okay. Let me get that. Maybe. Well, there, maybe. I just want to pulse that. Okay, so now let's cut our butter in chunks. You want this cold, so you have to kind of work fast to get this done. You want it in small cubes, so I'm just going to kind of cube it like this, because I'm not going to be precise and all that. I'm just going to do it the best, quickest that I can, because I don't want to lose that. Let's take our little doohickey out of there. Now we'll just put some down into our chute there. Get that. Okay. We'll just put it in. Let's go ahead and put our butter into that chute. Now you'll have to pulse it to get it down. Some more butter. A few more butters. A few more pieces of butter. We want that to look about like coarse meal, but then I can't tell with that lid on there, so let's, it's not quite coarse meal. And I may have to, it may need the room, let me get this mess cleaned up. I may have to quickly determine okay, so now I've got that to where it's coarse meal. See, that's coarse meal. Y'all see that? It's like a coarse meal. Now I'm going to add that egg ice water mix. I'm going to pulse that. I'm going to do it as I go. And I'm just going to pulse that. I'm going to pour a little in there. Pulse it. Okay, I got the dough, and I'm going to turn it out here onto a lightly floured roll mat. I'll get some more flour. Okay, I'll put that dough out, put some more flour, just kind of turning it, making sure that it's pliable, put together. Now roll it out. Put a little flour onto your rolling pan and then just roll it out. Add a little flour as you need to. Push kind of in the middle so it gets, you want that big enough for your pan, which I'm going to use this one, but you have to go, you see the width there, so you've got to go a little bigger. Okay, I traded for one of my old wooden rollers, so we can transfer this. Okay, I'm going to roll this up on the old roller. Just up enough where I can get my pan into it. Down. Got it kind of lopsided in there, but it'll finally work out. Get that all down the pan. Make sure it's down into the pan. Take some of that off. So you just have to adjust it per recipe, per pan, because that's all you can do. All right. Now, let's go around with our fingers. You can go around with your fingers and do your little, however you want to do it. Push that up. Like that. I just take my finger like that, put it in there. And I kind of, okay. So now we got that and got our little, okay. Got that taken care of. Now I'm going to put this in the freezer. Here's our pie crust. I'm going to put this in the freezer about 20 or 25 minutes. But if you leave it a little longer, that's okay too. Because if you want a flaky crust for a quiche or any other pie, it's important that the crust is cold when you fill it. So that's why I've got this all put together, and we're going to put this into the freezer for 20 or 25 minutes, and I'll list this flaky crust on the description so you'll know you can use this for any kind of pie that you want. Okay, so now I've got the crust in the freezer, and I'm going to clean up this mess. But also, I went ahead and baked that little torch shell. See how it shrunk down? Because I didn't use pie weights. But it'll be okay for a little fruit tort. And I can use that later on. So that's why I like these pans, because you can just lift the tort out. Now we'll bake this. We don't want to waste nothing, so I'll put this on a sheet pan, or I could even put it on one of these tort pans. Cut it in little slivers like Grandma, and kids love this baked. They bake up. We always love this. So there's not a lot of dough left, but there's enough that you can bake this and it'll be fine. I'll just stick that back in there, turn on my bake, and start. And then I put it on 350 degrees. So that will be great. I don't blind bake or pre-bake my quiche crust, but if you'd like to, you could blind bake that method. Just heat your oven to 350. Line the bottom of the crust pan with a piece of foil. Then you place in, let's see, I've got them here somewhere, maybe. Some days I can see and some days I'm blind. Again, I got my pie weights right here. So I'll put that, I'll line that with a piece of foil and that unbaked pie crust. Then I'll place these pie weights, or you can use dry beans or anything, on the top of that foil, and it keeps that crust from rising up. So you want to bake that just about 7 to 8 minutes. You know, just to if you want to blind bake it. I don't. I just bake it with my ingredients in there instead of. But I'm getting that other one. Let me get these put back up on the rack. I don't wash these because I like the flour down in them, and I just kind of rub them off and put them in the rack. Because I feel like the more you mess with them, the less they like it. Now, the same way this, I'll take it out and shake it off. I'm not going to wipe it much. I wipe my stove off, cooktop, get that cleaned up. So this is Friday, y'all. I don't know what y'all gonna be doing, but Mother and I have got nothing to do today. No doctor's appointments, what I mean. I'll probably go to the store. You know me, in the store. Okay, let me get this crust put up over here. And then we'll start. I'm just going to go ahead and y'all can fast forward the video, stop the video. Y'all please subscribe and like my videos. That helps me so much, and I do kind of try to make y'all happy. So make me kind of happy and get me more subscribers. Do it how, and the thumbs up and all that. I don't know how to do all that, but people keep telling me they did this or did that, or I don't know it all. But that's okay too. Okay, I'm going to get ready. I didn't have any fresh spinach today. Thought I did, but I didn't. So I just had a can of this fresh cut chopped Del Monte spinach. And I'm just going to drain that into my sieve. Let that just drain. Get all that water kind of out of it. Juice. See that juice? Get that juice out of there. This would be about 2 times as much, but let me discard this. Okay, so that's just your Del Monte chopped spinach, and I bought these onions, fresh chopped onions, for 99 cents. You can't beat that. That's always good. Let me get a little let me get my little saute pan. That's what I need. A little saute pan. And I'll just I've got some tiny pans, but we're not skillets. We're not going to do that. We're just going to heat up our saute pan there, like I do any other quiche. Y'all know how I do these quiches. So I'm going to put some olive oil in here, because I think we've got enough butter today. We'll butter this and butter that. So now just let's and I'm just going to take some of these onions and just probably about a 1/4 cup. I just want to saute them down so they're soft, so Billie Jean can eat them, because he don't have his you know what. So now we'll just kind of saute that down, our onions, and let's put some of our spinach in there. I'm just going to put about, probably the 1/2 can. That will mix that together, get that kind of mixed in. Yeah, I wanted fresh spinach, but you know, you have to do what you got. And I don't really like to eat this canned food because it's got sodium in it, and I don't need it with my liver. But today we're going to have to. So this quiche, Mother doesn't eat quiche very often, but it's a good breakfast for me, and I eat it every day with a glass of milk or a cup of coffee. So this quiche, this big quiche, will last me till probably, and even sometimes I have it for lunch. Okay, I'm going to transfer this to a bigger pan because I've got to do more things than what I had planned on doing. So I'm just transferring that over to one of the Crust skillets. And I'm going to add potatoes, hash browned potatoes. Now I'm going to go ahead and cook all these. Not right now, but I'm going to save a few back because I just like them in the quiche. I'll be back. Okay, I got those sauteed down pretty good there. Let me get this spinach out of the way. Check the pie crust. Let me get the one out of the freezer. Now this pie crust will get hard because of all the butter in it. See, it's already hard, and that's only, I didn't leave it in there 20. So I've got to get my egg mixture. So, let me get a bowl. Let me get a bowl. Let me set that down. Okay, I'm going to use some of these egg whites because I need to use them probably about like that. You just have to judge just whatever size pan you have. And then I'm going to put three regular whole chicken eggs into that because I think that will be the right amount for the quiche if we do it that way. Okay. All right. Let me get this wiped up. Get that wiped up. Okay. Let's just use our little push and go whisk, whirly bird whisk. I want to froth it up kind of good. Okay. Now then, let me get a crust. There's some cheese. That kind of, you put that in the bottom, it'll kind of glue that together, stick that together for the cheese once it melts. I've always found that it kind of helps the quiche. Plus, it's so good. You know, it's so good. There's a, like that. Now then, I'm going to put this spinach and onion into the bottom of my pan. Get it all out there. Now I haven't added salt because I don't need the salt. But you can do whatever you want to. I will add pepper here in a minute. I'm just going to see that it'll be just fine with that. Be just fine with that canned. Kind of get it evened out through there so everybody gets a bite or if you. So now I've got that. Now let's put some pepper into our eggs. And kind of stir that around, and I'm just going to pour that into my shell. Pour that into my shell. Get that kind of... Now see, that looks like that may not be enough eggs. Let me get this cleaned up. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour a little more egg whites onto that. Then I'll kind of mix it. So you want it up quite a bit. We'll just go ahead and use all those egg whites because we need to use them anyway. See, that'll raise up and then it settles down. So, since I did that, I'm going to put some salt, just barely, just so there's some salt, because all those egg whites, you know, are one of my tacks. Let me get it put back up here. I'll put a little bit of cheese on that. Just don't need a lot because of the sodium. But you won't. You can do it however you want. You can put bacon in this, you can put ham in this, you can put pork in this. Okay, so we'll get this. Let me get the oven ready for this. Let me get the pie crusts out of the oven. Set them over here to cool. Okay. Now then, I'm getting tired, but we've done quite a bit this morning, y'all. So now we will put this into our oven. Carefully. On 350 degrees. And we'll start that. And we'll go 25 minutes. And we'll put it on convection. And then we'll see what it looks like in a little bit. Okay, I'm checking the quiche in the oven. It's only been in there about 15 minutes. But I'm going to take this out with a rack. See, that's starting to, it's going to get too hard on the top. So what we're going to do is let's take our pie crust shield, and to keep that more moisty, we're just going to lay a piece of foil on the top of that, and then just put our pie crust shield, and that'll hold that down, because in the convection oven, you know, the air blows. That'll help hold that down on there. And we'll put that back in the oven. And I think it still lacks about 15 minutes. No, I'm going to turn it up to about 15 more minutes. And then we'll check back. Okay, now let's check this quiche again and see if it's fluffing up. I went ahead and turned that light off. Y'all didn't tell me the light was on, and it's hard for you to see. Let's see how this is doing. Okay, so it's fluffing up. There's still right through here, but it's good enough and it's not gotten burned. So we're going to take the foil off with our pie shield, and we're going to put this back in the oven for about Oh, let's see, we got 10 minutes on the clock. I've reset it, so it's probably been in there 45 minutes. So we're going to just let that continue. All right, so while that's going ahead and cooking, I went ahead and put that other pie crust on here, just so I could see this is our pie crust that we made ourselves. It's got a good crunch to it, tastes good. Then I used some of that Great Value Pillsbury pie crust, and I knew there was some reason I didn't like that. Well, it's got a little crunch, but when I tasted of it, it tastes like they put a lot of sugar or something in it, and it just is not pliable to my palate like the crust the butter crust we made. Totally two different things. So instead of buying crust, I think y'all should just use this recipe for anything you need. It's so easy, and you'll be happier than if you maybe it costs a little bit more, but I don't think so, because I think pie crusts now are like $5 or $6 instead of when I first encountered them, they were around $1.50. Okay, I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, I think that's only been in there about 4 more minutes, but on convection, let's check it again, because you don't want to just let it set and no, it's still got a little bit of wet spot in it, so we'll put it back in, and I'll be back. Okay, so that's been 2 more minutes. You just have to watch an egg dish, because you don't want them to. Let's get this out. Let's just take this out. So there's the quiche. Now that's fluffed up, see? I keep getting crumbs everywhere, but that's just the way it goes. Let me close my oven, cancel my oven, and get some of this mess. So now we will evaluate this. See, it's firm, it's fluffed. Now when that cools a little more, it'll kind of go down some. And that's what we want. Our crust is getting everywhere because I had a piece there. Oh, but that's good crust, I'm going to tell you. I just take a little bite. Yeah, that's a good crust, y'all. So, that's just a good quiche. That's a good crust. That's a good crust for anything. Quiche, apple pie, blackberry cobbler. So y'all have to try this, making your own pie crust for your quiche or whatever else you want. I wish y'all was here to have some of this quiche. Now I've let it stay kind of moist, because you don't want to dry them eggs and stuff out. It'll be terrible. But now this is what I'd put out on a buffet with pride. Okay, y'all. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day, and I'll be on here this weekend. I've bought some big piece of pork that I'm gonna take care of and get all that taken care of. And I hope that you enjoy this video and like and share and do whatever you know to do. I appreciate you. Mama appreciate you. We're doing fine. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, I decided to let that cool, and I'm going to flip that out of my pan up onto one of my other crust. I didn't mean to do that, but It did. Now what I'm going to do is I've got my pie upside down. And this way you could put it out on your buffet. Let me get this kind of cleaned up. During the holidays, any kind of pie like this, and I just take my board and I just invert it back like that. So it looks a lot more presentable than just an old pan or a cut up or then I'll take my chop knife. I'm just going to take a piece of this. Right out of there. Make sure you get a little bit, but I'll tell you, it'll be the best crust. Best crust you've had. We'll get one of our Royal Dalton Platinum plates here. Let me get a little pie server. Okay. These little dregs is always nice to eat. Those little pieces. Okay, I wanted to show you all this. I ended the video, but then I thought, no. See there's that quiche, how it rose up. Now you got your homemade crust. So now that's what I call a quiche, a Texas quiche. So we'll have this. Mother probably won't. She's already had her cereal and coffee, but I'm going to have this, and it's already nearly lunch. So see, I'm going to have a brunch, I guess. God bless y'all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.